In January 2015, President Hanlon announced the creation of a comprehensive 4-year sexual violence prevention and education program for all undergraduate students. Soon after, a small group of staff, faculty, and students began our work. Throughout the first year, we reviewed federal guidelines for Title IX and the Clery Act, researched prevention practices and evidence-based interventions, explored curriculum and prevention strategies at other institutions, reviewed and incorporated student feedback, and constructed a logic model to guide our work. So what's a logic model? It's a tool to help us design programs that actually work. A lot of the time when trying to prevent sexual violence, colleges immediately start thinking about all of the programs they can offer and all of the outside speakers they can invite. But the problem with that is there's no real way of ensuring that these one-off programs are cohesive or even effective. A logic model helps prevent that. Instead of starting by asking what programs are we going to offer, a logic model starts at the end, asking what results do we want to see, then what steps do we need to take to get there. We asked ourselves, how would we know that the campus culture changed and sexual violence was reduced, if not eliminated entirely? We came up with 4 changes in student behaviors. We would see an increase in utilization of resources and support services by students in need, including an increase in students referring their peers, an increase in the proportion of students having positive relationships and positive sexual experiences, an increase in respectful communication and interactions between individuals and across difference, and an increase in acts of bystander intervention before, during, and after an incident. Now back to the logic model. Let's use the first behavior, increase in utilization of resources and support services, as an example. What attitudes and beliefs impact whether a student will access resources? Some don't believe the resources are helpful. Some don't even recognize what happened to them with sexual violence. Some are worried about a friend who experienced violence but don't have confidence in their ability to refer that friend to resources. Then we asked, what knowledge and skills would students need to change those attitudes? Do they have knowledge about what sexual violence is? Do they know what the resources are and how to access them? Do they have the skills to refer a friend in a compassionate and trauma-informed way? The contents of this logic model were created from student feedback and an in-depth review of the available research, all of which supports the idea that programs that effectively improve students' knowledge and skills will, down the line, lead to our desired changes in attitudes and ultimately behaviors. Unfortunately, there are very few existing programs that are empirically shown to be effective at changing knowledge and skills related to sexual violence prevention. So our big questions become, how can we build effective programs? How do we actually implement them? And how do we know they're working? We know from the literature that programs have to be executed well, have varied teaching methods, and be appropriately timed and socioculturally relevant. There has to be sufficient exposure to make an impact, and programs can't be offered too frequently or students will disengage and get burned out. We also need to meet the needs of our students, who have limited time, varied interests, and travel regularly with the D plan. With all that in mind, we developed a framework for the Sexual Violence Prevention Project. Over their Dartmouth career, students will engage with the 4 experiences every year, aligned with each of the 4 behavioral outcomes. These experiences can occur both in and outside the classroom, provide experiential opportunities with interactive instruction, and focus on active skill building. First-year students are already participating in these experiences through the current programming structure, which is annually evaluated and revised. Upper-class students will be able to choose from a menu of options, including in-person, online, and design-your-own programs that are theory-driven, socioculturally relevant, and suited to their interests, learning styles, and time constraints. Students will also have 2 common experiences as a cohort during their sophomore summer and senior year. They will come together as a class to discuss, reflect, and put their learning into action. So where does that leave us? We've made a lot of progress, but we still have a long way to go. A project of this size will take several years to develop, fully implement, and assess, and we will continue to need student input and involvement along the way. To learn more about this project and our recent progress, or to get involved, please check out our website or contact svpp@dartmouth.edu. We look forward to working with you.